Hey guys, welcome back to the Juice Reacts channel, and welcome to part number 2 of my deep dive into the High School Musical movies. Last time in part number 1 we did the first movie, and I had a lot to say about that first movie. I did say in the beginning of that video that these are some of my favorite movies of all time. I love these movies. They're just fantastic. I know they're cheesy and that some of the stuff doesn't necessarily hold up, I guess you could say, in modern times. But growing up with these movies, recording them on VHS when they were going live on Disney Channel back in the day, just fantastic. It's some of the best times of my childhood is watching these movies. So I mean, I love, now that I'm older and I have different perspectives and different outlooks on things, I thought it'd be fun to go back and rewatch I've seen these movies hundreds of times, all three of them, hundreds of different times, maybe even like 1,000 times if you add everything up together. Probably not 1,000, that's probably an over-exaggeration, but you get the picture. I've seen these movies a ton of times, and so when I came up with the idea of going back through and deep diving on the inconsistencies or the stuff that doesn't really make any sense for the first movie, I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this right. And I'm going to do it for you guys because I know you guys are big HSM TMTS fans, the series, but maybe not a lot of you either have the same affinity for the movies that I do, or maybe you haven't seen them in a while, or just whatever your relationship is with the original movies. Maybe you're too young to have watched them live. Whatever it may be, I thought that it could be a nice little fun mini-series type of thing where we go through the 3 movies and I point out all the things that make me laugh, or the things that don't really make any sense, or the things that are just kind of like wild and crazy that they came up with. And just basically that's why I titled it Inconsistencies, because there's a lot of different inconsistencies throughout the 3 movies that don't really make a lot of sense when you think about it in the world of the movies. Now, I understand there is an explanation for most everything that I talk about here in real world attributes. Like either the director Kenny Ortega didn't want that in there, or the writers didn't understand something, or like the set decoration was like, I understand that there's real world applications and real world explanations for the inconsistencies, but if we deep dive into the actual world of High School Musical, we're into the universe, can we come up with explanations for why these things would have happened? So that's basically what this is all about. That's what this was. I understand all the real world stuff about it and understand all that stuff, but we're going to dive into the actual in-universe explanations and talk about and my feelings and my concerns and questions about, oh, why did they do that? That doesn't make any sense. Why is there a basketball state championship game at 3:30 in the afternoon? That doesn't make any sense. How are the people going to get there? Like that. Those type of things are what we talk about in this type of video. So if that intrigues you, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, sit back, relax, get some popcorn, and let's talk about High School Musical 2, because, ladies and gentlemen, it is summertime.
Young minds. The future.
First off, I do want to mention, I know we're gonna break the fourth wall in the very first clip. I understand that the real world application, the real world explanation for why they look a little bit older is because they obviously aged. Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, Corbin Bleu, all the people, they all aged before the second movie was recorded or filmed. But this is just supposed to be the same year as the first movie, and Zac Efron looks hecka different. He looks crazy different from the first movie to the second movie because Zac Efron aged, obviously. So I just wanted to point that out there. I haven't even gotten started on the list that I have, the notes that I have. I just thought about that right now. That it's kind of crazy the age difference, even though we're supposed to believe that this is the same junior year. Okay. If you want me to believe it, I'll believe it. I'll go along with it. Oh, right there. Right there. So, we have our first question. And why Chad did this. Chad, why are you kissing Miss Darbus? That's crazy to me. It's wild. She's your teacher. You can't just kiss her on the cheek. I know you're excited for summer, but come on, my guy. You can't just kiss your teacher on the cheek. That's crazy. That literally makes no sense. How does it make sense for Jason to be fully asleep to the point where he needs to be woken up by slamming books when he was literally 30 seconds ago awake, fully awake, not only asking Miss Darbus about her past summers and stuff like that, asking questions to her, but in later scenes, he's like standing, he's like putting his papers away and all that kind of stuff, and he's like messing around with the other classmates, like he's got his arm up and all that kind of stuff. But then you look at Troy and Gabriella for a second, then they come back and you look at the whole classroom, and he's asleep again. How does it make sense for Jason to be that asleep? There's no way. I know that there's people out there that can go asleep just like that. They can fall asleep instantly. But I don't take Jason as the type of guy that can have that ability. So there's no way that he should have been able to fall asleep that quickly to the point where he needs books slammed on him. He didn't get woken up by the bell. I mean, that's insanity. I don't know how that works. You know, Chad, I'm gonna cut you some slack. Once again, you are singing and dancing, and you're fully invested in it. But I'm gonna cut you some slack this time because I'm gonna say that you're just overly excited that it's summertime and you can't wait to get out of school and just hang out with your buddies, play some basketball, and chill out for the summer. So I'm gonna cut you some slack. Just this once, Chad. Just this once. If I see you dancing and singing again, then we're gonna have some problems. Show me some consistency. Please, Chad, I beg you.
This summer I gotta make bank. My parents keep talking about how much college is gonna cost.
Why is Troy so worried about how much college is gonna cost? He's literally gonna get a full ride scholarship for playing basketball. So that takes away all of his college expenses right there. And if he somehow wasn't gonna get a full ride scholarship, his parents are loaded. Have you seen the house they live in? I know for a fact that in Albuquerque, New Mexico, you cannot afford a house like that on a teacher's salary. Are we kidding? Are we joking? So his mom must be loaded to have a house like that. They have that type of house. They have a backyard basketball court. Not just half a basketball. They have a full basketball court with 2 hoops. They have a fenced-in backyard. They have a tree house. They have a... I mean, are you kidding me, Troy? And you're worried about college? You're worried about how much it's going to cost? I understand the whole, oh, his parents want him to have some life experience. They want him to earn his own money. I understand that part, but he doesn't need to worry about college. He's got it covered. Chad, I'm going to need you to be so specific. What were you two doing without a car? What kind of quote-unquote dates were you going on before you have a car? Because you say you need to get a car so you can take her out on a proper date? What on earth were you two doing? I have a suspicion of what you were doing, but I need to know specific facts. What were you doing that wasn't considered a proper date?
You really came through. I mean, you helped me with the winter musical.
I did.
Those vocal exercises?
This isn't even in my notes. I just thought about this right now. Does Gabriella ever see Sharpay do that? I'm assuming the way that she says it means that, like, at some point Gabriella had seen Sharpay, maybe during the actual play, because we know that I have my questions about what the play is about. We talked about that in the last episode, or last video. But also, we don't know how many showings of the play, the musical, they did. So I'm assuming since Sharpay was the understudy, she, like, helped Gabriella get through the musical, all the different productions, all the different times they had to do the musical. So I'm assuming that's when she learned about the I'm assuming that's when she learned about that. So I'll take that for my answer. But we never see it on camera. We never see it on screen. So I always wonder about that. Like, when did she learn about that? Because she never, in the first movie, I don't think she ever is in the same room as Sharpay when Sharpay does that. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm forgetting a scene. But as far as I remember, I don't think she's ever in the same room as Sharpay when Sharpay or Ryan does that. So it must have been during the time when her and Troy were the leads of the musical, and she was the understudy. Sharpay was the understudy, and she was helping Gabrielle. That's the only thing I can think of. Troy runs past the gang right there, and it's like a second, not even a second, before he shows up right here at the break of the hallway to go turn to Gabriella's locker. So the fact that it takes all of the people, Chad and all of them, Kelsey and everybody, and whoever else is there, it takes them so long to get from where they were. It should not take them that long. It should take them at most 5 seconds to get to where Troy is right here from where Troy ran in front of him. But it takes them like 4 minutes to get to that point. I mean, are we serious right now? Are we serious? What is going on? Did they just get like trapped in a vortex, in an infinite hallway? Like, what happened here? I need some explanations.
T as in Troy?
T as in Troy? That has to be the single craziest thing ever said. What else would it be for, Gabriella? What else would it be for? Of course it means Troy. T is in Troy? T is in turtle? Come on, Gabby. What are we doing here? You're supposed to be the smart one. T is in Troy. I can't with this girl. Even Troy looks confused. He doesn't know what to say. He's like, yeah, of course. Like, what else would it... Troy's even confused. If Troy's confused, everybody's confused. This little kid, this underclassman, has impeccable timing. You couldn't see that they were about to go in for a kiss, and then you couldn't have waited until they got done. Like, you couldn't have just... You were already awkwardly standing there waiting to get your yearbook signed. You could have just waited like 3 more seconds for them to kiss, and then come up and get... Why'd you have to go in right as she was up leading in to kiss? Why couldn't you have waited the 3-4 seconds until they were done? Why'd you have to go in there and do that? Oh, you got to read the room there, kid. I know you're an underclassman. You haven't experienced that probably, but you got to read the room still. You got to see the situation and know when the right time is to go ask for a signature. And then Chad doing it, of course, is just disrespectful. Chad knows what he's doing.
Seeing moves I didn't see last season. Keep it coming, guys.
Troy sitting on the counter with his sweaty butt after playing basketball is insane to me. Like, have some respect for your mom's furniture and counter space. There's a chair right there. Why you gotta sit on the countertop? And by the way, look at this house. You're telling me that a teacher's salary, a coach's salary is pay a high school coach? I understand East High is really good at basketball and they're gonna pay their coach a lot. Look at this house. This house is not being paid on solely a teacher's salary, a coach's salary. So, I mean, give me a break there. I just want to point that out. But Troy, have some respect. You are like 17 years old, 16 years old. Have some respect. You are old enough to know not to sit on the countertop after you've been out there sweating and playing basketball. Fun fact, I know another fourth wall break here. I just wanted to point this out. The girl in the middle, part of Sharpay's crew, she's actually the assistant to Gustavo Rock in Nickelodeon's Big Time Rush series. So, a little fun fact for you there.
Turkey imported from Maine.
Does Maine have good turkey? I've never really thought about Maine for turkey. Usually you think of Maine, you think of lobster. But turkey? I guess. I mean, maybe. I have no idea. You like what you see. You like it a lot. Troy couldn't have walked in with a goofier entrance. Like, what is he doing? That's the goofiest way to walk in to a pool I've ever seen in my entire life. And you like what you see. I understand that Troy's attractive, but I mean, come on. He's the goofiest person in the entire pool. Okay. Okay. This one is so egregious that we have to break the fourth wall in this one. I can't even trick myself into believing I could stay in universe and explain this. Why does Gabriella have a stunt double for the pool? You have to be kidding me. She literally jumps in the pool later in the movie. This is the only time she has a stunt double. Why does she have a stunt double? And why is the camera focused so heavily on her face? This is so clearly not Vanessa Hudgens that it's embarrassing. Like, what are we doing here? At least try to hide it a little bit. Are you serious right now? I mean, this is one of the most egregious things I've ever seen in movie history. Come on. It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense, please. It doesn't. She literally jumps in the pool later on in the movie during the nighttime swim with Troy after he gets after Huma Huma. She jumps in the pool. She's in the pool. So why there had to have been something with Vanessa Hudgens on set that day where she just, like, maybe she couldn't jump in the pool. Maybe she had something. Maybe she, like, had a open wound or something. I don't know. Maybe she had cramps. Maybe she had just eaten lunch and she couldn't go swimming for a half hour. I don't know what it was, but it's just so crazy to me that they had a stunt double dive into the pool here for her when she goes and does it later in the movie. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. This is the one thing in this entire movie that I am just flabbergasted about, because it makes no sense to me. Maybe one of you guys can explain it in a better way. I don't know. It just boggles my mind that they did it like this. That is a dangerous wink, by the way. Very dangerous.
Come on. How did we get from the top of the world to the bottom of the heap?
Chad, I gave you one chance. Now you're willingly doing it. Now you initiated it. The singing and the dancing. Well, the dancing coming in a couple minutes. Or a couple seconds, I guess. But you initiate... Chad, I keep giving you these breaks, but you keep on just going completely 180 against the grain. I can't handle it anymore. At this point, just say you like singing and dancing, because that would make my life a whole heck of a lot easier. Okay, I've got to pause it right here, because I just want to point something out. If you listen to the lyrics of Work This Out, it's kind of crazy, actually. Like, Jason says he needed Benjamins, but this isn't worth the stress. Like, you are a high schooler. Yeah, you're working at a country club, but, like, you expected just to get a bunch of $100 bills? You, like, what? And then you've got Taylor and what, I'm blanking on her name. Why am I, I'm blanking on her name. Martha. There we go. I knew I could get it. You got Taylor and Martha, who are worrying about burning people's toast. It's not that hard to make toast. Toast is, I'm pretty sure 100% toast is the easiest thing you could ever make in your entire life. Even if you have no cooking experience, you can make toast. I'm pretty sure if you handed toast to a 3-year-old, or if you handed bread to a 3-year-old, you could probably get them to make toast. So, why are you worried about burning people's toast? It's the easiest thing ever. And then, who was the other? Oh, Chad saying he'd rather face a 7-footer in the post than doing this job. I don't know if you would, Chad. You're probably, what, at best, 5'10"? At best? Maybe pushing 6 foot, maybe. And you'd say you would rather face a 7-foot man in the paint of an NBA basketball or just a basketball court in general. I don't know if you really would want to do that, Chad. I don't know. I've seen a lot of basketball in my day. I don't know if you want to go against a 7-footer. And then later in the song, Zeke says the Knicks and Sixers. Like, why? They're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Why would the Knicks and the Sixers be the teams that you would want to go see? I mean, this is around, what, 2007, maybe? 2008? So, at that time, the Knicks weren't that good. The Sixers were not that good. I mean, they were fine teams, but, like, you feel like you would want the Lakers or the Knicks are a brand name team, a huge team brand, but maybe like the Lakers or the Celtics or stuff like that, stuff that actually would matter. I mean, Kobe Bryant was in the league at this point, so it's just weird. So if you analyze, maybe that's a whole nother video that we could do, analyzing the words in some of the High School Musical songs, because some of them are kind of crazy. Every time I see this scene in the song, I can't help but think of the video. I saw it on Facebook, but I'm sure it's my brother actually sent it to me on Facebook. I'm sure it's been everywhere. It's just a video. Somebody had taken away the music, and it's just that scene where they're hitting the pots and pans and the glasses and stuff. But it's got no of the music in it. It's just what it would sound like normally if you did this in like real life, and it's the funniest thing ever. It's so awkward. It sounds so weird without the actual background music of Work This Out. It's so hilarious. Every time I see the scene, I think of that now.
Let's work it.
Someone please tell me how Troy is able to be this talented, where he can write the words "let's go" upside down and backwards? Because if you think about the orientation of the paper, it would be in his hand, he'd have to write it. But then when he flips it, it'd have to read "let's go" the right way upside down. So he wrote "let's go" perfectly legible upside down at the least. But then it would probably have to be backwards because you're flipping it the other way, right? Or maybe it wouldn't have to be backwards. Maybe it would still work if you did it normally, if you didn't write it backwards. But I'm pretty sure it would flip. When it flips over, it's the opposite direction when you have to read it like that. So I'm pretty sure it's backwards and upside. It's at least upside down, but I'm pretty sure it's also backwards. So how is he this talented that he can write it upside down and backwards, perfectly legible? Troy, you're too talented.
May I have this dance?
Teasing, can I have this dance? I can't even. That's unbelievable. I understand why Troy, I understand all of his problems. I understand. I mean, if I was in his shoes and I had Vanessa Hudgens looking at me like that, like she's staring at me, getting me, I would be in the same situation as Troy. I'd be in all these situations. I'd be singing like crazy. If she was, I mean, have you seen some of the looks in the first 2 movies that she's given so far to Troy? If she's giving me those looks, I can't even speak. You got to be kidding me. I get it, Troy. I get all your problems. There's no way they know the words to this song. How did they know? I mean, I get it that like they kept glancing at it, but how could they know all of the different chorus lines, all of the different next sections? I'm not a music guy, so I don't know the terms. How do they not know? How do they know the next sections of the song when they quickly glance at it? There's no way they could have known all the words. How do they know? It doesn't make any sense. They couldn't have got it that quickly. I understand that they were looking at it during the beginning of the song, but they couldn't have known these parts. They couldn't have known the ending parts, right? There's no way. Is it just me, or is Jason giving off major Subway vibes with his outfit? I don't know. Just the green and the yellow, it's like been like burned into my mind that's Subway. So just like the combination that he's wearing right now just gives me huge Subway vibes.
Thank you.
Taking 3 cookies? Those had to have been for the guests. And you're just taking 3. Now they got to go make more cookies. That's disrespectful, taking all those cookies. Troy? Daddy? Excuse me, Sharpay. We are in public. You can't just be throwing around daddy like that. With those looks? Come on, Sharpay. Daddy? Ah, it's kid. Oh my God.
Oh, thank you.
Troy being great at golf is very on brand to me. I don't know why, just very on brand. Wow, Sharpay, way to put my boy on the spot. I mean, come on.
Has 10 rules about boy behavior, and 9 of them involve boys forgetting things they should never forget, like dinner dates.
Well, it wasn't an official date type of thing.
Rule number 3, all dates are official.
Maybe it's because I'm a boy. Maybe I'm immune to boy disease, or maybe I'm not immune to boy disease. But I feel like Taylor oversteps here. Maybe that's just me. I just feel like she shouldn't have gotten Gabriella's head like that. Troy's trying. He's got other things that he's doing. He can't, like, I know he's not Troy's not very good at communicating. We'll say that. But like, he's trying his best, but I feel like Taylor just like she gets in Gabriella's head a little bit too much, and then we get the whole Gabriella starts overthinking things, and then we'll get there. But it's just, I don't know, I feel like she shouldn't have felt the need to say those things to Gabriella, because Troy's trying. He's trying. And then, oh, by the way, the fact that they're still there working, putting towels away and stuff, it's like, it's got to be like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and the fact that they're still there, that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. The dedication to their job, very impressive. If it was me, Troy's a very, very respectable young man. Because if it was me, I would have just like said no and walked away. But I understand that Troy's like, he's not like that. He wants to secure a good future for himself. So he's going to listen to what Fulton's his boss. It makes sense. But I've been like, I'm off the clock. I don't have to go with you anywhere. So I'm leaving. Like that's what I would like. He already clocked out. So the fact that he goes with Fulton, he could have easily just left and not have to sit through Huma Huma. But he could have just left. But he didn't, so I respect it. Huma Huma feels like a fever dream. Ryan being so unnecessarily mad at the end of the song is giving me life. I love it. Like, I understand that she didn't take his role. She got rid of his role and gave it to Troy. But, like, him being so mad is amazing.
Our thing.
Whoa! Time out on that one. Okay, I've got an our thing. It's with Gabriella, and I'm very late for.
It's crazy that Sharpay lost all her growth. She just reverts back to the way she was earlier in the year. Like, she had all this growth when they first showed up in the first movie. She had all this growth. Well, I mean, maybe not all of this growth, but she had some character growth at the end of the movie. And now in the second movie, she just reverts all back to how she was. And she gets rid of all that growth, and now it's just reset back to 0. It's kind of crazy. And it does it again in the third movie. I don't understand why they had to make Sharpay the villain each movie. There could have been other ways to get the villain out, the villain storylines, I guess. They could have been other ways to get it, but it's just annoying that Sharpay loses all of her character growth at the start of each new movie. It's kind of annoying because she goes through some good character arcs with like learning to take a breather and learning to take a step back when she knows that she's not the main star. Like she learns that each movie, and yet we still go and we start it back up the next day. It's kind of annoying. Oh, now she's okay with jumping. Now she's okay with jumping in. You couldn't jump in to save Sharpay. You had to get a stunt double to do that. But because it's Troy and he's hot, you can jump in. Okay, Gabriella, get real.
Well, when you graduate, lots of people are going to be chasing the same opportunities. There's nothing wrong with keeping your eye on the prize. In fact, if you don't, you get left behind.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying I didn't get my friends jobs at the club so they could sit and watch me eat in the dining room.
Yeah, I'm just saying never be ashamed of attention as long as you've earned it. Scholarship's special. That's why there's only a few to go around.
Troy's dad is speaking so much truth right now that it's kind of crazy. Like, he is spitting 100% facts. I wonder what this little girl's doing nowadays. Because if I was that little girl and I was on set and Zac Efron said, "Hey, cutie," to me, I would talk about that for the rest of my entire life. Like, what is this girl talk about that? I mean, I would.
I did overhear him asking her for her opinion on his new Italian golf shoes.
He didn't ask me.
I'm assuming that this is the next day after Troy gets the promotion. So why does Gabriella get upset that he didn't ask her for her opinion on his new Italian golf shoes? He just got them. He just got them. Like, how is he just gonna like text her or call her that night? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not the next day, but I'm assuming that it's showing like, oh, he gets his promotion now. This is the very first day of his promotion. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. It could be a couple days later. Who knows? But I'm assuming that it's the next day. So Gabriella needs to chill. Gabriella needs to chill about like freaking out that like, oh, he didn't tell me. He asked Sharpay. He didn't ask me how his golf shoes look. Girl, he don't even like Sharpay like that. Chill. He doesn't like her like that. I feel like Taylor is the real villain, not Sharpay, because Taylor is always getting in Gabriella's head about Troy and Sharpay. I feel like Sharpay's just trying to help his future, but Taylor's like trying to ruin the relationship because she thinks in her mind that Troy's doing something wrong or that Sharpay's doing something wrong. I feel like Taylor's the real villain. Sharpay being really good at golf, secretly good, is very funny to me. Because we saw her play earlier with her parents and Troy and Chad. And her being secretly good is hilarious. No offense, but these guys look way older than college guys. Now, it could be that these guys are like alma mater kind of guys and they're coming back to maybe like help recruit. Maybe they're friends with Sharpay's dad because he's got a lot of pull at U of A. So maybe they're friends. They're coming to help recruit Troy. That's a possibility. But I'm assuming that they're the ones that are on the court playing with Troy and they're on the team. So if they're on the team, they look way older than college kids. But I could be wrong. They could just be guys that have graduated and are coming back to be like, oh, hey, look at this. We got these really talented guys that played at U of A. Now, why don't we help you come to U of A? We'll recruit you. That could be a possibility too. I'm not counting that out. I'm just saying if it's not true, if they're actually on the team, then they look way older than they need to be, or than they should be.
Ooh, that looks great. Hey, I almost forgot. I ordered Swiss on my burger, so go ahead and check it out, man. Try it.
I usually like to go to bat for Troy because he gets a pretty raw deal in this movie, but he was super douchey here. I mean, you couldn't even have just like said, "Oh, hey, this is my best friend, Chad. He also plays basketball. Why don't you give him a little handshake and something?" Like, you could have done a little. You don't have to like fully throw him into the conversation, because Chad's working. But you could have like said, "Oh, hey, this is my best friend Chad." Well, like he also plays basketball. He's on the same team. We're like a duo, a dynamic duo. But like Troy, that I usually like to defend Troy, but this one is hard to defend against because that's pretty douchey. Okay, look, I get why Gabriella is so upset with Troy to an extent, but Troy is literally trying to make a better future. He's trying to make his future so much better by helping with this recruiting to U of A and to get this scholarship locked down and to have his future set. And Gabriella was just all about, she's still in the high school mindset. She just wants to hang out with her friends, hang out with her hot boyfriend, and have a good time during summer. But Troy's looking to the future. But then in the very next movie, it completely flips the opposite way, and Gabriella's the one looking to the future and thinking about her college and what's going to happen with Stanford, and then she completely breaks up with Troy to go to Stanford because she's too scared to come back because she doesn't want to say goodbye. And yet Troy is just trying to do the same exact thing in this movie, and yet he gets ridiculed for it and gets yelled at and gets everybody angry at him. I don't understand. Yes, Troy could have gone about it a better way. He definitely could have. He could have handled it slightly differently. But he was trying to help his future for presumably both of them. I mean, they're going to be together after high school, I would assume, right? That's their whole thinking. But I feel like Chad and Gabriella are a little bit more out of line because, like, Gabriella's super hypocritical. She goes and does the exact same thing the next movie. To a worse extent, she breaks up with him. So, I mean, like, I get why she's upset, but she has... They both go about their things very, very confusingly and very wrong. They probably should do it differently. But, I mean, Troy, he's just trying to help his future.
I wanna play ball now and that's all, this is what I do. It ain't no dance that you can show me.
Oh, okay. So now that you're playing baseball, you're totally fine with singing and dancing, Chad. Come on! I'm just asking for a little bit of consistency here. Just because you're playing a sport means it's okay to sing and dance like it was with basketball? Oh, I get it. I get your double standards, Chad. I like how Chad is singing about how he doesn't sing and dance. He don't dance, I don't dance, the whole song. As he's singing and dancing, Chad, be for real.
Swing it out, spin around to the dance. I wanna play ball, not dance hall. I'm making a triple, not a curtain call.
I wish the umpire was dancing along with them, kind of like Savannah Bananas style. That'd make it a little bit better. If this is a staff baseball game, how did they separate the teams? Did they know it was going to be Lava Springs versus East High? Because that wouldn't make any sense. If they did know, then how did the East High kids get their uniforms there? Because those are the East High colors, those are the East High uniforms. Did Lava Springs just have those in the storage room, or did they bring them from home? Did they go back? Because there's a little bit of time in between games, so maybe they drove back home and they got them, and then they came back. What if the Lava Spring, or what if the East High kids never got the jobs there? What if Sharpay never told Fulton to get Troy a job, and then Troy tells the other East High kids to come work with him? What if that never happened? Would the Lava Spring, or would the baseball game just been Lava Springs staff versus each other? Would they? What uniforms would they wear? How would they separate each other? Because obviously they got yellow and black. What would the other team wear if it's just Lava Springs versus Lava Springs? These are the hard-hitting questions I need to know answers to. I can't handle the not knowing.
Hey, Evans! I'm not saying I'm gonna dance at the show. But if I did, what would you have me do?
I'm so done with you, Chad. I'm done! You are the epitome of a contradiction. I can't handle it. I'm so done. How is this 5'7" white boy cooking these college players? That makes no sense. All these guys gotta be like 6'5" and above, and they should be destroying this little white boy, but he is cooking them. It makes no sense. I know Troy's talented. He's not even singing. That's his superpower. He's not even singing, and he's cooking these college kids. What is going on here?
Alright, so you call that a little game?
Excuse me? Why are they in each other's clothes? Did you agree to switch? Like, what is happening? Why are you switching clothes? Why is Chad wearing Ryan's outfit? Why is Ryan wearing Chad's outfit? How did you get this to happen? Did you go to the bathroom and switch clothes? Did you do it on the baseball diamond in the dugout? Like, what? Why did you think this was a good idea? To show, like, that they're a union now? That they're together? That they're one? To show that they're on the same page? I feel like you could have gone about this different ways. You didn't have to show visually like this that they changed their clothes. How did they go about this? How did you change your clothes like? Why? Why? Troy, why are you so upset? You really think that Ryan is some sort of like threat or competition to Gabriella? Or for Gabriella? Come on, Troy. Come on. Let's be real. Come on, Troy.
Did you even ask to include us? Captain? I didn't go looking for the Red Hawks. The Red Hawks came to me, okay? I didn't sign up for this golf job. Fulton offered it. I said yes. My decision. But I show up to work. Same as you. So chill, man.
You get a speck of dirt on your pants and someone dry cleans you.
You wouldn't do the same thing.
If I was as good as you.
I did not say that.
You didn't have to.
And neither did you.
Exactly. Okay. Let me talk about that. Let me speak my truth. Troy is saying 100% facts. He's speaking 1,000% valid right here. He's just showing up. He didn't ask for the job. He's just taking it. And the fact that he says you wouldn't do the same, and Chad says, what, if I was as good as you? It has nothing about being as good as Troy. Sharpay's the one doing it. Yes, it just so happens that Troy's very good at basketball. So is Chad. Chad's got his number freaking hanging in the rafters when they graduate in the third movie, just like Chad, or just like Troy. So the fact that Chad, you cannot tell me that Chad would not do the exact same thing if he was in Troy's shoes. If Sharpay liked Chad and not Troy, and she was doing the exact same thing, but Chad was the person she was focused on, you cannot tell me that he would not do the exact same thing. He would not neglect his friends and choose the scholarship in the basketball, all this kind of stuff. Chad likes to act like he's all high and mighty, but he would do the exact same thing. I know this for a fact. It's very hypocritical. He's getting all mad at Troy, and I think he's jealous. That's why he's getting all mad at Troy. He's jealous that it's not happening to him. He's as good of a basketball player as Troy, but he's not getting the love from Sharpay. That's the whole reason. That's the whole thing that's giving Troy these opportunities. So, of course, he's going to be mad because he's not getting these opportunities, but he's getting mad at Troy even though he would do the exact same thing. It's very annoying. Does Troy think he's some sort of, like, master at hiding? Because he does this a lot. He hid from his dad earlier and somehow got away even though his dad totally should have seen him. And now he's hiding from Gabriella and from all the gang. And he's not even hiding that well. If Gabriella just looked up or had any sort of peripheral vision, she would be able to see Troy. So I don't know why he thinks he's good at hiding because he really sucks at it. And I don't know how they don't find him.
Or to a bunch of dishwashers?
Us? Well, I guess that's showbiz.
When did you become one of them?
Sharpay is so delulu about everything that she doesn't even see how rude she's being to her own brother. Like, Ryan's just trying to have a good summer. He's just trying to dance at the talent show and have a good time. And Sharpay's just like so one-sided about this whole Troy thing that she completely neglects her own brother. And completely just like tosses him aside with no second thought to go with Troy. Like, it's just crazy. This is, again, what I was talking about with the losing her character development. It's crazy. Fulton may be the realest person at this resort. Everything he says is real. And that's what makes Fulton one of the best characters.
All junior staffers will be required to work on show night. What? Yeah, it says no staff participation in the show will be allowed. No exceptions.
No show?
There's a show, we're just not in it.
That's great.
What did they think the job was going to be? Like, why are they getting... I understand that they were super excited to do the talent show and stuff, but they're at a job. They shouldn't... The talent show shouldn't be their number one focus. Yeah, it's a nice little side thing to do, but they're trying to make a paycheck. Why are they getting, what did they think it was going to be? Did they think they were just going to like, oh, I don't know, like wait a few tables and get out of there scot-free with a huge paycheck and have a good time during the summer? No, they're at a job. They're supposed to be working. I don't know. These kids are kind of crazy. I understand why Gabriella's mad. I do. But she's attacking Sharpay for no reason. Sharpay's trying to help Troy. Yeah, she may be doing it because, oh, maybe Troy will end up realizing that he has feelings for her and break up with Gabriella and start dating her. Maybe that's somewhat of her underlying goal. But at the end of the day, she is trying to give Troy, save his job, give him a better future, and help him get to college and help his long-term goals of playing basketball. And Gabriella, she literally says that Sharpay is messing with her friends and her summer. That's all she's focused on is her summer. She don't care about the future just yet. We'll get to that in a bit. She don't care about the future just now, but she cares about her summer and having a good time. So she's being super selfish, getting mad at Troy and getting mad at Sharpay because her summer is ruined. Even though Troy's trying to, yeah, it's the summertime. He's supposed to be having a good time hanging out with his girl and having a nice little summer. But he's also trying to think of his future. So, I don't know. Gabriella just, it's very Reenie, if you ask me.
Hey, what do you mean you're done here? I mean, you can't quit.
Us working together sounded good, but plans change and people change. The club talent show was a big deal for Sharpay and evidently for your future. So it's cool. Just make it happen. Wear your new Italian shoes.
Hey, I'm still me.
Troy being so confused during Gotta Go My Own Way is what I live for. He's just so confused on why she's angry and why she's leaving and why she's got to go her own way. It's just amazing because he has no idea what's going on. He's like, why are you mad? What's happening? And like, Gabriella, she's just so selfish at this point. Like it's crazy. And Troy's trying to he's trying to do his own thing and he's trying to also be in a relationship with her and he tried to balance both and he's obviously not doing a very good job of it, but she's not communicating. She's just leaving. I mean, but it's crazy how confused he is. It's great. You know how when it's dark and you open a car door, the lights are supposed to turn on inside the car? They don't turn on when she opens that door. So I don't know how that's possible. Or how does she, not even thinking about that, how does she have a ride? When did she have the time to call? Is that her mom? Or is it just they didn't have Uber back then. Who is this person? It's got to be her mom, I would assume. How did she have time to call her mom? We didn't see her pick up the phone and call anybody. She literally went from Sharpay to talk to Troy. Then she went in the locker room to get her stuff. And we followed her the whole way through that. Then she goes back outside, goes on the little, small little bridge thing they have there, talks to Troy again, and then gets in the car. How does this car get here? When did she have time to send a text or to call her mom and tell her that she needs to come pick up? And how far away is Lava Springs from her mom's house? How long was the drive? It's got to be a half hour, right? 25 minutes, something like that. It's got to be something, at least a little distance because they live I'm assuming they live in Albuquerque, right? And then Lava Springs is on the outskirts. So it's got to be a decent little drive. So she would have had to call her mom before she even got in the argument with Sharpay at the beginning. But that doesn't make any sense because we never saw her pick up the phone. So there's no way that Sharpay or Gabriella's mom would have been there in time. It doesn't make any sense. There's no way that this would have happened. So I don't know. Make it make sense.
Usually taking these right off the grill.
No, Coach Bolton. Why are you making ribs at 9 o'clock at night? Maybe that's why Troy's not taking them right off the grill. Because it's literally dark outside. Who makes ribs at 9 o'clock at night? Now, maybe, to play devil's advocate, maybe, just maybe, the time difference makes it seem like it's a little bit darker than it actually is. Maybe it's actually only 7 o'clock, and that's an understandable time to be making ribs. If you're eating a little bit later, in the day, 7 o'clock is reasonable. But who's firing up the grill and making ribs at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night? Because that's what I'm assuming the time is. So maybe that's why, Coach Bolton. Maybe that's why, because you're making ribs at dark outside. Okay, this is a one, like a little future tease for the third movie. You see that picture on Troy's nightstand where it's him and Gabriella, and they're in formal wear, dressed up, ready to go to what looks to be some sort of dance. Now, it could be homecoming, that's true, it could very well be homecoming, but I'm assuming, since this is summertime, I'm assuming that it's prom. But in the third movie, and we'll get to this in the third movie, actually, Troy says he's never even been to a dance before. Because Gabriella says she's never been asked to a prom. But Troy says, I've never even been to a dance before. Well, what is this then? Explain to me what this picture is if this is not at a dance of some sort. Whether it be homecoming or prom. It could be either, I guess. But Gabriella doesn't really show up until after homecoming would have happened. Because she shows up in the new year. And homecoming is usually before the new year. At least in my high school experience it was. So, because it's usually like during football season. So, that could be homecoming, but I highly doubt it. It's got to be some sort of, maybe like a Sadie Hawkins dance. It could be, it's some sort of dance. But I'm assuming it's prom. And yet, Troy says he's never even been to a dance before. Then why do you have this picture and it looks like it's a dance? Make it make sense, please. So Troy is okay with like what looks to be a whole croissant or some sort of bread product, and maybe like a 1 or 2 egg omelet with nothing else in it, just straight up eggs. Maybe there's a little bit of cheese. That's what you're okay with for breakfast? That is kind of crazy. The fact that he's okay with that. I guess it's better than like an only bread sandwich that he was eating earlier during the high school days. So, I guess, who am I to judge? At least he's showing growth. Oh, here we go. Troy's entering his sad boy era. Ooh. Where did those golf clubs come from? Are they just out there? Somebody just leave their golf clubs out on the course? Or did Troy, I didn't see him. He didn't walk up with any golf clubs. Where did they come from? That puppet lady really needs some therapy. Like, seriously needs some therapy.
I do the show if the Wildcats do the show. And I'd think fast.
I just sort of wish you were doing this for me.
Why can't Sharpay just see that Troy doesn't like her like that? Why can't she just see that? He's shown it for a whole year now. A whole school year. And now into the summer. He's shown that he doesn't like her. Like, I understand that she's persistent and she's stubborn and she thinks, oh, I'm Sharpay. Why? Of course Troy would like me. It makes sense. But he's clearly shown over multiple different occasions that he just doesn't like her like that. He likes her as a friend, kind of. But he's shown multiple different times that he just doesn't like her like that. And yet she still just is like, it doesn't make sense. She loses her character growth. That is cold-blooded by Ryan. Absolutely cold-blooded. Jeez.
We have every day of our lives.
Wanna find you there, wanna hold on tight.
How does Gabriella have the necklace? She has not seen Troy since she got in her mom's car and left until when she gave it back to him during Gotta Go My Own Way. So the only theory that I have is that Troy had some sort of conversation with Chad, told him what was going on, told him that Gabriella left, and gave him the necklace so that Chad would give the necklace to Taylor, because Taylor's the only one who would have any sort of contact with Gabriella outside of Troy. So that's the only thing I can think of, is that Taylor got the necklace from Chad, and then Taylor gives the necklace back to Gabriella. That's the only way it makes sense, Because other than that, how they haven't had a conversation. Troy and Gabriella have not had a conversation since she left. So, or haven't even been face to face. So how in the world would she have the necklace if that's not the theory? If that's not how it goes? So if that's not true, then I quit because I can't handle the inconsistencies. I find it really funny how Gabriella comes out and starts singing with Troy, and all of these people in the crowd at the tables, except for like obviously Troy's parents and maybe Sharpay's parents, maybe everybody else except for them would have absolutely no idea who this random girl is and why she's singing and why Troy's so happy. Because they would have no idea who she is. Like I'm assuming they're just like run-of-the-mill patrons of Lava Springs. They go here. They're family members of the people who have memberships here or whatever. They don't know the drama of this high school kid. They don't know the love life. So they wouldn't know who this random girl is. So I think it's funny that they just have to accept it. They're expecting Troy and Sharpay to sing together. They don't know that something's changed. So they're expecting Troy and Sharpay to sing together, and then this random girl comes out and starts singing, and Troy's happy about it. Like, they'd be so confused. I just want to be, like, in their brain and hear what they have, what they're thinking to themselves. Like, who's this girl? Why is she singing? Like, are we supposed to care about? Like, I just think that's super funny that they would have no idea who this girl is. They're like, where's Sharpay? We're supposed to be hearing Sharpay. How does Sharpay know the words to Every Day? She literally says earlier that she didn't learn a new song. So how would she know the lines? How would she know the words? Now, I understand, to be fair, Every Day is a very easy song because it's the same words over and over and over and over again. So it's understandable that she could learn it very quickly on the spot, like while she's out there listening, and just pick up on it and sing along. That's understandable. Like, I can get behind that. But in theory, she shouldn't know any of the words because she didn't learn the new song. Only the Wildcats knew, and then obviously Troy and Gabriella because Troy learned the song. So, and Ryan obviously. So Sharpay's the only one in this whole group that shouldn't know the song, and yet she's up there singing. The Star Dazzler award actually breaks when Ryan goes around to hug Sharpay, but then the very next scene, it's back. And it's working. I just always find it funny because Kelsey, the actor who plays Kelsey, she reacts to it and she's like, oh, like because nobody was expected to break. But I did hear that there's like problems with the trophy while they were on set. It kept falling apart for some reason. Like they couldn't keep it together. I don't know what the problem was, but they could never like keep the Star Dazzler trophy together. It always would break. So I just find it funny that it actually broke while they were on camera, and they just kept it in, and then they just immediately cut, and then they cut back. It's fully fixed again. I just think that's really funny.
When you dream, there's a chance you'll find a little laughter or happy.
See, this is what I mean. Why are Zeke and Sharpay together again? She literally has not shown any interest in Zeke the entire movie, the entire time. And now, the last time she showed interest was at the end of the first movie, when after the state championship game, when she comes back, he's in the gym, and she comes back and says those cookies were amazing, and she chases him off. After since that, even in this movie, she says like she tells him to go away or whatever. Like he tries to advance on her and make a move, but she says no. So why in the world are they standing next to each other right here? Why are they like close? Why are they? Because these are all the couples. So why are they a couple? There's no reason. This is what I keep talking about. Sharpay has no character development. Well, she does, but it gets evaporated by the end of the movie. Start for the next movie. She was literally all aboard the Troy train for the entire time, and now she's with Zeke at the end because she finally accepted that she wasn't gonna have Troy. But in the next movie, she's gonna be the exact same thing. I can't handle it. Now we're even closer? Yeah, okay. Sure, Taylor. Sure. Quick little Miley Cyrus cameo. Pretty cool. Oh, she jumps in the pool again? Are you kidding me, Gabriella? I cannot figure you out, girl. You are so inconsistent. You are maybe the most inconsistent part of this entire thing. You even had a beautiful dress on, like a beautiful little sundress on. And you jump in the pool now while you didn't want to jump in the pool earlier to save Sharpay when you were in a literal bathing suit? I cannot figure you out. So with that, we have finished both High School Musical and High School Musical 2, The Inconsistencies. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let me know down below if you had any comments or questions or thoughts about my thoughts that I had in this movie. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Peace.